one is really angry. He really wants to eat the couch or scratch the couch, but you can't. Hey nerds, what's up? Today we are doing my wrap-up for the months of August and September 2016. The first book that I read in August 2016 was More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, and I read it on my Kindle. I love this book so much. I'm so glad I finally read it. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time. Oh my god, it was so good. This book is about a kid named Aaron who has this awesome girlfriend, and he lives in the Bronx, so he is not really well off as far as economy goes. And then all of a sudden he meets this guy named Tyler, I think, and he starts to fall in love with Tyler, and then he decides that he wants this procedure that exists in this version of reality called the Lateo procedure, which erases memories that you choose to have erased. And so he wants to erase the fact that he is in love with a boy. Really well written, and there's some stuff that is just really intense and would be really good to not know before you go into it because of spoilers, and oh my god, it was just so good. I absolutely love it. I gave it a full 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. I actually was listening to this on audiobook. It was a full 5 out of 5 stars. I found myself like just tearing up all the time reading it. That I read was Curse of the Sphinx by Raye Wagner, and I already explained what this book is about in my haul. This was a 4 out of 5 stars for me, and I just really loved the way that it was written. I did find that it had a little bit too many, YA tropes for me. That was not my favorite thing in the world, which is why I docked it a star. But overall, the story was really interesting. I love Greek mythology, so I love getting a new book that has these, because usually I just turn to my Percy Jackson loves and the Rick Riordan well-written gods that he is. So if you're looking for another Greek mythology book that deals with like present day and Greek mythology at the same time, this is a good book to try. Saga Volumes 4, 5, and 6 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I borrowed all 3 of these books from the library. These graphic novels are so good. 4 and 5 were 4 out of 5 stars for me, and then Volume 6 was a 5 out of 5 star, which was the first 5 star I gave this series. These books are about a couple who are from 2 different species, and these species have been at war with each other for a very long time. This couple has a child. Both of the governments are out to get this family. My main complaint about this series is that our main characters, Alana and Marco, which are the couple, they fight about stupid stuff a lot, and it's just ridiculous. Like, why are you fighting so much if you're so in love? The next book that I picked up was Uglies by Scott Westerfeld, and this was a reread for me. I did listen to it for the first time on audiobook. We did do a live show on Allie from the Little Librarians channel. Uglies is about a girl named Tally Youngblood and her friend Shay, and they live in a world in the future where at 16 years old, everybody gets a surgery to make them pretty. So they go from being your average human to a person who is perfectly symmetrical, has huge eyes, is exactly the perfect height, the perfect size, the perfect weight, all of those things, perfect skin, everything. So at 16, you get this surgery. Everyone is called pretty now. It questions a lot of like how we view beauty in our society, which I really loved. I did find that this time when I reread it, I was a little bit more annoyed with our main characters than I have been in the past, but they are 16 and obsessed with their looks, so I feel like sometimes their like vapidness just gets to me this time around because I'm older now that I've reread it like 5 times. But I absolutely love the series. I really think it should be required reading. I think it's so important. The next book I read was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know. I didn't really like this book a whole lot until the very end, which is why I ended up giving it a 4 instead of a 3. But, I mean, it was good. It just, I don't know. Rainbow Rowell has already written a book called Fangirl, and in Fangirl, the main character, Kath, is a fan fiction writer about this series that she's obsessed with, which is basically like our version of Harry Potter. It's like their version of Harry Potter. And she writes this series called Carry On. So this is supposed to be the 8th book in that series' fan fiction version that Kath wrote. And in her version, she makes these characters who are supposed to hate each other and who are kind of the arch nemesis of each other fall in love. So that's the basic premise of Carry On. So we follow a boy named Simon who is like the chosen one. He's our Harry Potter. And his roommate is named Baz. I love Baz. Oh my god, he's so good. He's like the bad boy and he's a vampire. He's kind of like the Malfoy of our Harry Potter. And they fall in love. Does definitely stray from our Harry Potter that we know and love. But the reason that I had a problem with this book is because one, the first like third of this book is kind of boring. And then two, it was so similar to Harry Potter that I found myself just annoyed that I wasn't reading Harry Potter. Like, it was a play on that, so like it was interesting. I don't know. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. My baby. My one true love. Oh my god. Full 5 out of 5 stars for this. I do have a review vlog of this book. If you're interested in checking that out, it'll be linked down below. This is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series, so I can't really talk much about it if you haven't read the Throne of Glass series yet, or if you haven't read this book yet. But the Throne of Glass series is about Selena Sardathian, who is a assassin, and she gets chosen to be the prince's champion for the king's tournament the winner will become the king's assassin. They will be set free from whatever they've been charged with. This series is so good. Why is Sarah J. Maas so good at writing? Like, how? The next book I read was on my Kindle, and it was George by Alex Gino. Children's to middle grade book about a 10-year-old person named George who is a transgender and really wants to be named Melissa. And it's just about her and her friendships and her family and her teachers and how she comes to be able to tell people that she's a girl and how everyone reacts and how that just happens. And it's so heartwarming. Oh my god. I just love that there's a fucking book for kids. Can you imagine, like, not being able to see yourself, like, talk about... I just love that a book like this exists, and it's really well done, and I just really, really liked it. The book I read was Go Ask Alice by Anonymous, and this was one of the books that I read for the Bibliobook-a-thon, which so was George. And Go Ask Alice is a fictionalized version of a diary from this 15-year-old girl who lived like 30 years ago, or the book came out 30 years ago. She lives in like the 70s or something. She's a drug user. She has suicidal tendencies sometimes. It's one of those books that is definitely just like stream of consciousness because it is a diary, and it was really intense. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I wasn't a huge fan of the narrator because she's an annoying 15-year-old girl from the 70s and says like groovy. But other than that, I really, really liked this book. With the exception of being a little bit annoyed with like how she speaks, it's very timeless and just wow. The last book that I read in the month of September was Uglies, Shay's story, and this is a graphic novel by Scott Westerfeld. Uglies is told in Tally's point of view, and Shay's story is told in Shay's point of view, but it follows almost the exact same timeline as Uglies does, and it was really good. And it just, the only thing that I can say that I didn't like was that it still does not make my Tally-Shay ship canon, because it didn't. They're just friends, and it's upsetting, and I just want them to be together. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Now I need to pick my October challenge. I only have a few left because it's only 3 months, including October in here. So I still have to finish a few of my challenges that I've pulled out of here. I have to finish 2, I think, or maybe 3. But this is my October challenge. Oh, good. Read a tiny book. I like this challenge. I still have already picked read a classic and read a novella that I have not completed those challenges yet, and now I get to include read a tiny book on that list, so I'm hoping to get those challenges caught up on. Other than that, my October TBR is basically just My Madness So Discreet. I really want to read that. Hopefully want to read The Seventh Day. So that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this wrap up. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below what your favorite book that you read in the last couple months was, and I will see you guys very soon. I make videos every Monday and Thursday. Make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
I wish I could